And the first formal session of the day you'll see from the agenda is called Coping in a Time of COVID, Lessons from the Counsellor's Couch. Now, as has been mentioned already this morning, as CGIAR staff, we are fortunate to have access to external counselling, external confidential counselling through the Rome Institute. Essentially, any CGIAR staff member can contact the Rome Institute directly at any time from any location at no cost to themselves. And they can talk about anything they feel they need to and share any challenges and get the confidential support they need. Now, as I speak, I know Victoria is busy typing the contact details of the Rome Institute into the chat box so that you have them easily to hand should you ever need them. Just kind of copy them down, stick them somewhere and keep them safe so you have them easily to hand. Today, we are fortunate to have 3 colleagues from the Rome Institute with us. We have Petra, Michelle and Kevin. Petra, hi Petra, you want to turn on your camera? And we have Petra Misaika, we have Michelle Matero Nklangamba, we have Kevin Cullen, and hopefully their cameras are coming on now. In addition to having Petra and Michelle and Kevin with us, we also are fortunate to have Anna Sullivan from Catalyst. Catalyst is a global non-profit that works with us in the gender diversity and inclusion function to accelerate progress for women. As we begin our wellness journey today, it's great to have the opportunity to start by hearing directly from these wellness professionals to set the scene and give us advice. I am hoping that hi Petra, hi Anna, I'm seeing you nice and clearly on the screen. I'm waiting for Michelle and Kevin. Hopefully, there you are, Michelle. Hello, how are you? And hopefully we're going to see Kevin pretty soon. Hi, Kevin, the gang's all here. That's great. Lovely to have you. I will start the session by asking each of you to very briefly introduce yourself and tell us, how have you been coping? How has the past 6 months been for you? And what coping strategies have you been using to deal with what life has been throwing at you? And we'll start with Petra. Over to you, please.
Thank you, Fiona, and hi, everyone. Well, very briefly, I have worked for the World Food Program for many years and retired in 2011. And having had this exciting type of life before, it was very difficult for me to give it up. And so I thought to found the Rome Institute. And we were specialized on trauma, on emergencies and so on in these agencies. But it's been a real pleasure to work for CGIAR, because now that enriches us enormously, because we are exposed to a different kind of people, which is excellent. Okay, so how have I been coping? And it was last year was quite a challenge because we had so much work. It was just amazing. People were so much into anxiety, into redoing their lives, into trying to understand what this means to them, the pandemic. So we had our hands full. The past half year has been different. It was different in a way because people are more settled, of course, depending on the location, I must say, on the life circumstances and so on. That is very important to not forget that. But people are different now. They are sort of a little bit more accepting, and they report different problems. Okay, it's a different kind of setup now. What has started is a little bit of mourning, you know, of lost time, or of how do I redo relationships? Because during the active pandemic, it was all work, 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 work. And especially in CGIAR and other agencies, we saw that people were overworking it in an extreme way. Okay, they were opening the computers early in the morning and finishing at midnight, sort of, and the kids were kind of roaming in the background, you know, because they were stuck at home. And so now it's a different type of other problems come up. How do I make sense out of my life now? What do I do? And we've done, of course, yeah, of course, advised, as we did with people in the UN system who worked in emergency location, what to do. Yoga was one of them. And it's excellent because yoga it's like a father, and it has many children, different types of yoga, and there is no competition. And that's the wonderful stuff. For our peer support volunteers, we had walking yoga to start, and breathing. And then honestly, what did I use myself was because I was sitting in dark and gloomy Berlin, because we had very, very bad weather for half a year almost. It was awful. So I went outside, because that was not like, look at Fiona's picture there. That's where I was, okay? Because nature is very enriching, and it just kind of helps us to ground, to find a connection to Mother Earth, okay? So I did lots of walks. Now I do swim a lot early in the morning. At 6 o'clock, I jump into a lake, wherever it is. And this is something that helps me. Now, of course, not everybody can do that, because you're not in the same environment. So what I then suggested, to kind of start growing plants. It sounds strange, but that's what I did. I told them, listen, if you're sitting in a compound, if you're sitting isolated, get a couple of seeds, put them in the soil and see what's happening. Okay, so I would like to finish here to hand it over to my colleagues.
That's great. Petra, you've discovered one of my secrets. This green stuff. Joanna was talking about yoga this morning, and there will be lots of people talking about other things. For me, you know, I found parts of lockdown very hard when I couldn't get out and go see some green stuff. Because for me, just being out in nature and just walking and you know, being in the peace of a forest, or being able to go on a hike, that's for me, that works. So I agree with you. I think there's a certain period of morning when you're not able to get out and enjoy the things that usually help you cope with stress. How have you been, Michelle? Oh, you're on mute there. Oh. Victoria, it looks like Michelle's having a little challenge with the mute. If you want to try to see if we can help.
Michelle, could you please use the mute?
Hello?
Oh, there.
Yes.
There she is.
All right. Yeah, I couldn't see it first. Sorry for that. So I was saying I can't complain here. I'm based in Malawi. Malawi is very warm, and so I can't complain about the weather. So briefly, a lecture is to Grade 5, and obviously I went for the Rome Institute. So as regards to the past 6 months, I think it's been a roller coaster of emotions, from despair to hope to anxiety. Hope because of the vaccines, now that they've started coming in most countries. So you'd find more people becoming hopeful when they get the first shot, and also expecting that things will change. And also a lot of resilience, because people are now at that stage where they're looking back and say, we've been at this for months, so we have done it, we are here. So they've developed a sort of resilience. And for me, I think the major issue with coping is that encouraging people to stay connected. So like Elwin said, the major feature of this COVID pandemic is isolation. So staying connected with family, staying connected with work colleagues, staying connected with friends is most important. And also just really shifting our mindset as the way we see ourselves as human beings. We're used to being very productive. We are planners. We want things to go in a certain way. So one has to reach a point to say that things will be unpredictable and I have to be spontaneous. And also, mental health issues can happen to anyone. They're not a sign of weakness or being weak. So all those things sort of like work together to build that sort of psychological balance. It's not one particular thing that you have to do. And also, yeah, just trying to adjust to what I call the new normal. Like anything in life, even in our life, we have times where you have to move to a new area, whether you're starting a family, whether you're starting a new job, it's all about adjusting. So also looking at this COVID as a way of adjusting to a new normal is another way of, you know, coping without feeling like you're stretching yourself too much. So I think that's all I have to say for now. Maybe Kevin has more to add.
That's great. Thank you so much, Michelle. Kevin, over to you. How you've been doing?
Good morning and or good day to everyone. It's very a great pleasure to be able to participate in this wellness day of your organization. It's really quite impressive and probably a very good idea to do a wellness day in the time that we are experiencing. I think very much like Michelle, it's been a roller coaster. You know, sometimes up and sometimes you will be affected by very different emotions yourself about the situation we have found ourselves in. If I think back to how I have coped personally, I have tried to keep connected to my own emotions and how I am actually dealing with many things. And I've actually, during the last 6 months, I've actually reconnected with a very good therapist who I've been, you know, getting some help with which I think is also very important. And also doing some social and personal development courses myself. So trying to understand how I individually react to the situation and most importantly, how you keep the little voice inside your head, which sometimes can be not very positive or sometimes very negative, how you can keep balance, not so much balance with things outside of yourself, but also internally, our mindset, how we keep positive, how we keep active, how we keep connected. I think a lot of the issues have been mentioned about the social isolation issue and how people feel unconnected in that way. So it's been very important to realize that and very important to be very active when I can, to be connected with people and to make the effort to do that and to make sure you phone people and just simply have some sort of relationship with the people you might not literally see, because a lot of people are in very isolated situations. And this last 6 months have been very dramatic because I've actually decided about 3 months ago, after thinking about it 6 months ago, I've actually decided to leave the country I was living in and actually move back to Holland, where I do feel very loved and very connected with the people I know there. So I've actually not only just thought about it, but I've actually taken action about it and literally moved country and everything in the last 6 months. So it's been quite a dramatic period.
Thanks so much, Kevin. It's really interesting for me to hear that, and maybe we'll come back to that later on. The media is full of stories of people who, on the back of having time for introspection and taking stock of their life, have in some way over the past 6 to 12 months decided that they wanted to make changes in their life. So your story, Kevin, is interesting. You're not the first person who's told me that the pandemic has actually maybe even accelerated a decision in their life or prompted them to think more deeply about something that was going on and actually take steps to do something about it.
Yeah.
Anna, how have you been?
Hi, Fiona. Thank you for inviting me. It's a really interesting panel. And I saw a little bit of the one before, and I'm very happy that you're doing this wellness day. You know, like Kevin said, it's really been important to seek help in these times. And I think that it's sometimes there can be a stigma around this, but especially at the beginning of the pandemic, you know, I was seeing my life coach. I even went to a psychoanalysis therapist. I did breath work. I went through all of these different ways to learn coping mechanisms. And it's really helped, especially, you know, over the past 6 months. I moved house, I got married, I'm expecting a child. And so all of these things happening in the midst of a pandemic in a way that wouldn't have been the way that I had ever imagined it. But taking it all in stride and really allowing things to be as they are. I'm also a yoga teacher and practitioner, and I found that meditating and yoga nidra, which is like a guided sleep, it's very effective in coping with anxiety and also helping to break our thinking habits. And so there's these tools in the toolbox that we can all draw on, and there are so many tools to access our different personalities and our different different things that work for each of us. But I would say the biggest thing that's helped me is just allowing myself to be lazy, anxious, happy, everything that's coming up, really allowing it to come and removing any shoulds from my mind as much as possible. If I want to watch an entire season of Netflix on the weekend, then I should be able to do it without feeling guilty. And if I want to leave the house and be outside all day and ignore phone calls and emails, then I should also be able to do that in that time. So that's what it's been for me, a lot of allowing.
Brilliant. And congratulations. Thank you for sharing that news. Looks like we've got a lot of people doing a lot of things during pandemic we weren't even aware of. That's great. Now let me go to Petra, Michelle, and Kevin with a very specific question. The three of you are qualified counselors. You are involved with helping people cope with stresses and strains on a daily basis. This is what you do for a living. What are the most common types of challenges that you've seen coming up from the people that you are supporting over the past 6 months? And what advice are you giving them to help them deal with those kind of more common types of challenges? I'll start with you, Petra, again, please.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. Yes, it depends really on the months that we've been working, sort of. I should mention that we ourselves as a group started peer supervision because in these hard times, we felt also that we needed to support each other more and not just kind of work parallel, okay? And that I think is very helpful. You know, I've asked around when I heard of stuff that you were giving us, Fiona. I asked around a few people what was the most important for you guys who were doing home office. What were you missing? And amazingly, they said the same thing. We miss the contact of people because working on the computer is different from working in presence. That means they told me we miss the body that's in the room. We miss kind of to also have a light conversation or something like that. And we're afraid that we cannot mend this, that the relationships we have over the computer or using whatever, Zoom, Teams, and so on, will never change anymore. So they have this fear in them that it's sort of gone. And I then encouraged them, and they said, no, I think everything, communication can always be changed, you see. And of course, you work internationally, so you will always have this problem of having people only on the internet. But you know, some people told us right in the beginning of the pandemic that they would meet just for tea. Okay, simply for tea. Okay, so they were just meeting, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning before work start or something like that. I think it was Kenya, Uganda, in those countries, people met for tea. Okay, and so this allowed sort of the personal, of course they knew each other before, they were present in one office before, but then not anymore. And this allowed for them to kind of also interact on the emotional level, which was on internet. You don't do that, especially if it's a larger group. You don't kind of share really things anymore, like even we do today, or people have done today. So I think this is something maybe to consider. I've even met years ago when I was once in Pretoria, people met for regularly for breakfast meetings with their buns and the coffee and everything, talking business, presenting what they were doing. And so there was like a team dynamic going on that was very, very positive, and that one could learn of. And since I've kind of told many offices, changing their communication with family. Okay, because also having tea or breakfast together with family, because nowadays we have this luxury. We're really quite quite lucky. We're quite lucky in comparison to other people who are completely detached from everything. So I said, well, kind of have a breakfast meeting with your kids, ask them what's going on in school or how they are doing. So I try to say, modify your communication, not always the father with a raising finger, you must, or something, but just kind of ask them, how are they doing? Because here in Germany, they have noticed that children suffered a lot from being at home when the schools were closed. Okay, and of course that is an effect on the parents, because they had to compensate for the stuff that they couldn't learn. They had to try to get back into the material that was being taught. So all this was something new. It was new challenges. And then it was mentioned also before already, Fiona, I just address you because there is something in people, especially who miss being creative, who were so absorbed by the everyday things. So I encouraged their creativity. I said, well, what was your dream to do? And they said, well, writing or painting or something, or learning a language, or using it for improving leadership skills, whatever it was. So I encouraged them to pursue this road and said, I said, you will get into this learning stance, let's say, because you will feel all of a sudden that you're in a flow of creativity. And this is something that the pandemic has offered us, because before often people are in such a rat race that they don't think of that. They have this faint idea I should be or I would like to be, but they don't do it. And then I said, well, this is the time. You can try that. Try to be in the flow of something, fulfill one of your dreams. Okay, and I hope that some of them did. And coming back again, I told them to buy seeds and plant wherever, because that's really working in emergencies, if you believe it or not. To just have a tomato plant sitting in front of your window or something like that and watering it every day, to kind of feel a connection to nature, because this is something that grounds you. Okay, and of course yoga grounds you, coming back to the breathing grounds you. And so that's, yeah, so the flow was very important. Okay, thank you.
Great tip. So it sounds like one of the most common types of challenges really is that you've seen is really around, you know, people having to juggle so much while being isolated. Michelle, what have you heard? What have been the most common challenges that you've heard?
I think the most common challenge is people feeling psychologically unbalanced because they've lost their rituals. So I'm talking about rituals as things that we normally do during our lives, certain things that have to happen in a routine way, such as birthdays, weddings, sports, graduations. So all these rituals have been lost because of the nature of the pandemic. We can't gather, we can't be in large groups. So people don't know what to do with themselves when such events happen. So I'll hone on specifically to the funeral ritual, because most people have lost their loved ones or, just close friends. And normally we have to go console the bereaved, even physically hug them, take some food to them, some water, some comfort things. We cannot do that during the pandemic. So people feel at a loss as what am I going to do with myself? Because all these rituals are part of making our mental health, it balances our lives, it balances our mental health. So normally what I advise to do is to sort of find a replacement for that ritual. Not that it suffices, but at least just to feel like you've gone through that process of, grieving properly. So if you've lost someone, maybe, make phone calls to the family, or maybe have a day where you can sit, where you pray together, whether online, just something to replace those rituals. Another ritual that people are feeling unbalanced about are religious rituals. I'm Catholic, by the way, so I'm used to having mass every Sunday, and we have all these activities in the church. I can no longer do that. So that sometimes makes me feel unbalanced. I don't know what to do with myself on a Sunday. So it feels very weird, but I have found ways, to replace those rituals. Even the ritual of graduation, which is, the highlight of every family. You have a daughter or a son who's graduating college after years of hard work. You want to see that process through. So mainly that has been the main challenge for people. What are we going to do with ourselves in the absence of these, rituals? So like I said, just try to find a substitute, for those rituals. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. I mean, a lot of what you're saying really resonates with me. I also feel the loss of many rituals over the past year, and I know that many of my colleagues and friends feel the same way. Whether it has been, helping a friend or a colleague who's grieving, all the way through to celebrating with friends and colleagues, and not being able to do that, not being able to physically be with them has been very difficult. Just before I move to Kevin, please, colleagues, we've got about 140 people with us online. Please do use the Q&A function if you have any particular questions for Petra, for Michelle, for Kevin, or for Anna. We'll chat to Kevin and Anna while you're busy getting your Q&A topics up there, and then we'll turn to that and make sure that we do our best to answer your questions. But while people are busy typing in the Q&A, Kevin, what have you seen? What have been the most common types of challenges that people have been bringing to you?
First of all, Fiona, I would love to just carry on from what Michelle just mentioned, because during this pandemic, I also lost a brother of mine, and you can imagine that in the 140 participants all around the world, that people have suffered some personal loss and some very, very difficult situations. So I just wanted to recognize that. One of the most fundamental issues that I've come across from the counselor's couch, if you want to put it that way, is when you're doing the counseling, is the significant differences between people as well. Is that it's all in a context of where we find ourselves. Fortunately, for a lot of the people I've been working with, they still have an income, and they still have work, and they are in that way. A lot of people in the society have lost their work and totally lost their identity and totally lost their income, and and then subsequently a lot of emotional issues arise because of those fears and those anxieties. But certainly, if I was to pinpoint one or two individuals that I've spoken to, certainly single people who are in an isolated environment working has been difficult, because that would be one group I would like to point out. Working mothers, people who have got the very difficult juggling act of juggling the private with the first with the business, is also a group that has been quite significant. Also, the people who have just started work in an organization, who really do not know too many people, or do not literally know the culture of the organization, working at home or being isolated from your work colleagues has been very, very difficult. And also the frontline workers, the people who are in quite very remote areas doing the work, and not being sent home or whatever, but just literally carrying on with the work that's needed to be done. So it's been quite fascinating speaking to a lot of people. And one of the main issues is really the issue of social isolation, and how in this difficult period, what attempts can you do, what methods can you do, what sort of actions can you do to be connected to your colleagues and to the people you probably sometimes don't know, in certain situations you don't know too well. What can you do to get that connection, which is very, very important. And I think that is one of the issues in a lot of the conversations I would have with clients. Loneliness, isolation, being separated, they would be quite fundamental themes that we would be talking about, we'll be examining, and maybe talking about some suggestions you can do to try, in this very difficult, unusual circumstances, to relieve some of the difficulties that people do have with that particular issue of being isolated.
Thanks very much, Kevin. And I just want to start by saying my deepest sympathies on the loss of your brother. I'm very sorry to hear that. And as you rightly said, if we've got 150 folks on the line, which we do right now, the chances of somebody else on the line having suffered some kind of loss is probably pretty high, whether that person is a close family member that they've lost like you did, or an extended family member, a friend, a colleague. The chances are that there's somebody online who has had to manage their grief in that social isolation without the usual support that they would have from their extended family and friends. People online, if that describes you, then please do go to the chat function. Take down the details of the Rome Institute and recognize that you do have people who will be very willing to listen to you confidentially and provide you whatever support that you need, as well as your normal colleagues and friends that you have around you. You do have an extra group of people who will be able to help you through those challenging times. Just before we do move to the chat, Anna, I have a question for you. Because of the work that you do, I mean, your work, specifically focuses on advancing gender equality. How has the pandemic changed the world of work for women? What trends are we seeing that we should be considering in one CGIAR, bearing in mind the lessons that we're seeing coming from the pandemic?
Thanks, Fiona. Yes, so we've been able to explore new ways of work that we wouldn't have been able to before. And because it wasn't a priority, or it wasn't on our radar, or it didn't seem feasible. And we've really seen an acceleration towards change over the pandemic. And especially for women, the flex work and remote work that we've been able to explore or forced into, has really improved the workplace in a way that, you know, at the beginning, we did think that there was a lot of pessimism that women would lose the advancements that they've made. And in some places in the world, and some industries, this was the case. But on the other side, we have seen that where flex work and remote work was possible, it has changed the story for women in the workplace because it has made it more inclusive. And when Catalyst ran a poll in July 2020, asking, has working remotely since COVID-19, since the outbreak, facilitated a more inclusive work environment, we did see that 36% of respondents said yes. And though that's the majority of the respondents, but those who said no, we did notice that most of them were employees who mentioned that stress and second shift work, that's coming home, helping kids with homework, doing the housework, all of those extra things that aren't paid but take up so much of our time. Women are twice as likely to be more responsible for these things when it comes to men. And 24% of fathers report being the main responsible person for this second shift work. So when we say, you know, flex work and remote work has really changed the work environment, we also need to break it down and look at what's happening on the employee level and address what's happening there. So moving forward, what you should be considering as one CGIAR is inclusive leadership and trust. We need to focus on these traits of leading inward and leading outward. So showing curiosity, being an active ally, especially with the social movements that are going on right now, showing that we're creating an inclusive workplace. Being able to have uncomfortable conversations and show vulnerability as leaders, and also creating a place where employees can feel empowered to take up those remote and flex work opportunities, and that they feel trusted, that they will get the job done correctly in their own time, and that their contributions really matter to the work that's being done. So I would really say that it's kind of a two-edged sword here, that we have this remote work and flexibility, but we need to make sure that we are anchoring that down with inclusive leadership and trust so that employees truly feel that they're working in an inclusive environment.
Great, thank you very much, Anna. It's really interesting as I listen to you talk. I think back to when I first learned about the triple burden of women, and it was a really interesting concept when I heard it many years ago, because it really rang true for me. And for those folks who don't know about the triple burden of women, really what it is that in many parts of the world, women do 3 jobs. The culture expects them to do 3 jobs. And they only get paid for one of them. So one job is their professional career, often takes them outside the house, but increasingly, as Petra said, and Kevin was saying, they're trying to do that with the kids running around behind them during the pandemic. And the second burden, the second job is the one that they do that Anna called the second shift there. Where they're worried about laundry and making sure there's food in the fridge and making sure that the school project has been done for the eldest child by the deadline, etc. And then there's the third burden, which is often linked to the community. And in certain parts of the world, women have certain expectations around them taking certain roles to support aging people in the community, or to support kindergartens in the community, or to support in parental school responsibilities, etc. So yes, Anna, I can imagine if you're thinking about the normal stresses and strains on women, the pandemic certainly has accelerated them even more. We've come to that time where we have some really good questions on the Q&A. I know Wole has just come online. Wole, would you like to turn your camera on there and say hi and introduce yourself?
Yes, my camera is on. Good
Ah,
morning, good afternoon, everyone. Wole Oladokun from IITA. I'm the Employee Service Manager, and one of my roles is to take care of wellness and health in IITA.
Great to have you with us. Wole is going to take a look at the Q&A and the chat function now and pull a couple of questions from there to direct towards Petra, Kevin, Michelle, or Anna. What have we got online, Wole?
No question now. Let's open the question now for now.
If we
Sorry,
go...
Fiona, Victoria here. We do have a question about how can children be better helped to cope with the COVID stresses?
Petra, you had mentioned that this was something that had turned up as challenges that people were bringing to you. Can you help our colleague think through how to deal with the particular challenge of taking care of children during the pandemic?
Okay, what I suggested is to quite a lot of people is a concept which is called family conference. Okay, because this means that the whole family gathers together around a table and kind of brings the issues on the table that are lingering, let's say, in the background or that not being talked about, and that the children have the same voice as the parents. Okay, and it needs to be explained initially, but it's a concept which was developed, I think, in Germany in the 70s or something like that, to once a month in the happy times, do a family conference so that the children feel being heard. And also because sometimes we as adults, we assume we understand the children and then we don't really, okay, because we are not in their shoes, let's say. And I found that very helpful. And I noticed that some, especially the men, were quite surprised. They were like, "What, me talk to?" Like, and then I said, yes, this is a great way of forming a stable relationship, especially if you're in a different country, if you're so far away. And also for the children to understand what the parent who lives far away goes through, kind of that the father more or mother explains, this is life here, maybe showing photos, showing this, and this is how we do things. And now that I'm stuck in the compound, I do this, and so on. So that there is, that there is some growth of closeness between the family members. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Michelle. Would you like to come in there?
Yes, and just to add on what Petra said, also to remember to let children be children. Because of the nature of this pandemic, we carry our anxieties, our fears, and pour them onto our children, because as adults, we're thinking, am I going to stay healthy? What is going to happen to my job? But a child is really thinking about, when am I just going to I'm going back to school? When am I going to play outside again? So it's better to try and think like the child. Let them be children. If they're making fun, I mean, I have a 5-year-old son who usually makes a COVID mask. Anything, he covers it on his face and say, "Oh, I'm protecting myself from corona," and he laughs at it. So at first, I used to say, "Oh, you know what? That's very serious." But now I just go along. So yeah, just let children, be in their shoes, because they're looking at all this with different eyes than us. They're bored. They can't wait for things to get back to what they used to. So just, adjust to that, play with them, find ways of explaining this to them that is at their level, as opposed to saying, well, the statistics say that so many people have succumbed and these are the implications. So really just trying to be in the child's shoes.
Thank you so much. Wole, I'm going back to you to see if we have another question there.
Yes, we have about 2 now. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, the first one, how would you deal with elderly parents, especially? How will you deal with elderly parents, especially ones with dementia and anxiety?
Kevin, can we hand that one to you?
Yeah, definitely. You can hand that to me. That is a very, I mean, dealing with in any time, dealing with parents who have dementia is a very, very difficult situation to deal with for the children of the parent. Very, very difficult. In this situation with the COVID-19, it has become, for certain people, an extremely painful experience because certain parents have been in maybe in elderly homes or maybe not even living in the home environment at the present time. And it's been incredibly difficult for people to actually go and actually visit the parents in certain countries because of the regulations with COVID-19. So, you know, the suggestions for this is really the most important aspect when you're dealing with people who are suffering from dementia is the safety and security of the individual themselves, that they are in a safe environment. And that doesn't necessarily mean in a home environment. It could be in a, you know, in an elderly home, but that would be very important. And just to keep that contact, even if, you know, when you're dealing with dementia in particular, you know, you do find it very, very difficult because you don't know how much is taken in by the individual themselves. But to keep that connection with the person is very important. Also for yourself, that you are giving instead of, sometimes we are in a society where we want to take things, but that you are giving the attention to your parents is very, very important. And just try to keep that regular connection with the parents is very important.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We've time for one more question. Wole, you have one more question for us?
Yes, work anxiety, there's a question here. Work anxiety has gone up during the pandemic time as we have too many things at the same time. How do we reduce anxiety, stress, overthinking, especially for those who are singles and living alone at their home and can't go outside due to the lockdown situations?
Thank you so much for that question, Wole. I think Petra, Kevin, and Michelle have all really touched on this, as well as Anna today. But I'm wondering, Petra, would you like to take a couple of minutes on that?
Yes, I could. Okay, because anxiety is a phenomenon that is universal. There's almost nobody who doesn't know the feeling of anxiety and the effects on the body as well, effect on mind and body. And yeah, you know, I mentioned initially about the walking, and I know that walking is not okay everywhere because you may live in an area where it's simply not done or it's not safe enough. But walking, for example, for me, it's very important, the grounding to Mother Earth, and that reduces the anxiety. It sounds maybe a bit strange, but it's really true. Once you, and that's why I talk about the seeds and plants and so on, because that you feel a connection to Mother Earth, literally. Anxiety, of course, deep breathing helps, yoga would help you. And also those of you who have experienced panic attacks, you know that it doesn't kill you. And that's already it's something very positive, because the first time you have a panic attack, you think that's it, okay, I'm done, or something, or I have to go into a mental hospital or something like that. No, 10% of all people do experience panic attacks every once in a while with all kinds of bodily symptoms. So the more you can influence your body systems, again, with yoga, breathing, and so on, the more you feel in control. And when, for example, the heart starts racing, you know through building up pressure in your chest that you can control that. And this initially, you may think, oh no, this is far too strong, I can't do this. It's not true. Slowly, slowly, if you don't see your body responses as an enemy, then you can start to learn doing things, even when you're sitting in one room, okay? Not being able to move through deep breathing, to building up chest, to also positive thoughts, through meditation. And very often in the pandemic, I'm glad you mentioned this, I've asked people to listen when they couldn't sleep, for example, because of anxiety and so on. I said, go into YouTube, there are meditation music pieces which last 8 hours, okay? 8 full hours. So you don't need to think, okay, it's over soon. No, you just switch it on, harp, flute, all kinds of music to, and that is relaxing as well. Don't underestimate the effect of music on you, okay? And start to enjoy it and realize that you're part of something that happens to many people, and you will not die because of anxiety unless you jump out of a window or something like that. But that's a different issue. If you get suicidal, that's serious and needs to be treated by specialists, and you need to go into therapy or counseling, whatever, okay? And if this is really depression, the same. Depression is not, I think, Michelle, you said that already. It's not weakness. Depression is a normal affliction, which was recorded already in the antique times by the philosophers, of the melancholia that they suffered. This is something human. It's human. We cannot be just always perfectly protected and just be perfect. No, we have ups and downs. And also, Kevin, when you said with the elderly and the dementia, that's so difficult even in the best of times. It's so difficult, and you need, definitely, you need help from outside to organize the days of these people. Here in Germany, they go into daycare. In others, maybe you have a nanny, you have someone, because this pressure you cannot bear alone, okay? Because this is a real big challenge, okay?
Thank you so much. I know that the folks online would love to continue this conversation. I feel we've just scratched the surface, but believe it or not, our time has run out. So I'm afraid that we must end there. What a great session. Thank you so much for all of the insights that you've given and the lessons we've learned. You've given us lots of food for thought. And thanks very much for being part of our Wellness Day. Thank you, Petra, Michelle, Kevin, and Anna. And thank you, Ole, for very capably taking care of that Q&A box. I wish we'd had more time for questions. I'd like to hand over now to Alonso, who is the chair of the Wellness at CGIAR ERG.
So now it's time to breathe, to relax. So we have a breathing workshop. It is called Inhale, Exhale, and Connect. And our breath coach is Mauricio Gil. He is the founder of Amaru Inner Growth Alliance. That is a project that aims to generate activities of inner growth and wellness among people. He is a certified breath coach under the program of Life Awareness Project founded by Michael in the Netherlands, and the Whole Health Project under the Yoga Alliance wing. And he is also a meditation coach under the program of the Universidad del Alma of Colombia. He is also a certified coach in emotional freedom techniques. At CIP, we have had 4 breathing sessions with Mauricio, and the results were fantastic. So without further ado, please, Donna.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being part of this Inhale, Exhale, Connect. session. I am Mauricio Gil. I am a breath coach, and also I am the founder of Amaru Inner Growth Alliance, a project that creates and organizes different kind of retreats and wellness activities to help you in your inner growth path, to help you in your awareness about yourself and the world around you. I want to thank the International Potato Center to make this possible, and I hope you have a very nice session. Today I'm not going to talk too much about the theory about what we are going to do because we don't have too much time. But first, a few recommendations for the practice. The first part, you can do it like sitting down on a chair like me. If you want to sit on the floor with your legs crossed and you can hold that position for 40 minutes, you can do it. The important thing is that your back is straight along with your neck. And for the second part, it's very good if you can lay down, for example, in a yoga mat or in a thin carpet where you can have your back straight too. So, and if you can use headphones, it will be good because we are going to use, as you can hear, very cool, relaxing, and also activating music in the background. I just want to read something that Sadhguru said about breathing, about our breath. Sadhguru is a very famous Hindu yogi. He says, the way you breathe is the way you think. The way you think is the way you breathe. Your entire life and your entire unconscious are written in your breath. If you just analyze your breath, you will understand that your past, present, and future is written there in the way you breathe. Let's remember that we start our life once we get out of the womb of our mother. We start with an inhale, and we are going to finish this life with a final exhale. So our breath is with us along the way through our whole life. You can be without food maybe 7 days, without water maybe 3 days, but try not to breathe for around 10 minutes. Some people can do it, but most of us cannot. So we have to understand the importance of our own breathing and our breath, because influence a lot on how we feel and the perception that we have about the world, and we can activate and influence our autonomic nervous system. So we are going to, in this session, we are going to do basically 2 things. We are going to do breathing awareness, is just to observe our own breath, and we are going to do conscious breathing. In the conscious breathing, we take control of our breath. We change the rhythm and the pace, and to aim to different goals. So in the conscious breathing, we have like very activating techniques, strong techniques, and we have relaxing techniques. So you're going to experience both. So you're going to experience maybe different physical sensations, especially in the active techniques. If you feel a little bit lightheaded on the active techniques, don't worry about it. It's completely normal, because we are giving a boost. We are moving oxygen and the carbon dioxide in our body, so you can experience like a little tingling in the hands, a little bit lightheaded, but don't worry about it. And so I'm going to mention a few benefits that our breathing good has on our health, understanding as a balance between mind, body, and emotions. So you can reduce the stress and anxiety levels. You clean toxins of your body. The 70% of our toxins are being cleansed through our breath. We can relax completely. We can give a boost to our immune system because we alkalinize our blood, and we help with a high blood pressure too. So that's just a few. It can help you to fight insomnia too, for example. So in this session, just trust your breath, and we are going to breathe. All inhalations will be through your nose, and exhalation, you can do it through the mouth or through your nose. You can experience with both, and I will set what you have to do all the way, so don't worry about it. And so we are going to start right away. Trust in your breathing, trust in your own breath, and remember that we are going to explore different kind of techniques. So let's start. Just to start, we are going to prepare the body a little bit for our breathing. So you can do this. In this moment, just start connecting the breath with the movement of your body, and start focusing on your breath. Start taking control on how you breathe. So the first movement, you just can put your palms in front of you like you are praying, and then with a deep inhale, just go down, back. Expand your shoulders, your neck, your chest, and exhale. Front. One more time. Inhale, go back, expand, but gentle, and exhale. Back to front. One more time. Inhale. Expand your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your neck. Exhale, front. That's good. Now move a little bit your shoulders, up, down, back and forth. Your neck to the sides, but very gentle. Don't worry. Now we are going to inhale, big, raising our arms. Inhale. Hold it. And stretch a little bit. Stretch your spine, stretch your shoulders, and exhale. Putting the arms down very slow. Then one more time, we are going to inhale, arms up. Hold it. Stretch a little bit. Exhale. We are going to inhale one more time. This time, hold your breath and tense your body. Tense your arms, tense your legs, tense your glutes, your abdomen, your chest, and you're going to exhale very strong, putting the arms down. Exhale. That's good. One more time. Inhale. Arms up. Hold your breath and tense. Build the tension. Build. Tense, 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 tense. A little bit more, you can do it. And exhale very strong. That's good. Now close your eyes. Take a big and deep inhale. And exhale very slow, very slow. Feel the subtle movements inside you, how the blood is running through your arms, your shoulders, after you tensed your body. And from this moment on, focus on your breath. There is no rush. Start breathing more calm than you used to breathe. Be aware of the next inhalation and the next exhalation. Just be aware that you are breathing and notice how it feels to focus on your breath. Maybe for the first time in the day, you're just notice that you are breathing. Notice how it feels. And if the mind starts to wander, it's natural, just bring it back gently to your breath. Remember, there is no rush. And for a moment, just focus on the air that goes in and out through your nostrils. Feel how the air goes in and expands your lungs. And feel how it goes out through your nostrils, relaxing every muscle. Just focus on the air of your nostrils. That's good. And now we are going to sigh. The sighing is a sign of relief that you give to your body. So this is the time for you to sigh with all the freedom. Do not hold yourself back so you can make a noise. It can be a big sigh. Just make it an expression of freedom, of letting go. But first, you are going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Inhale deep through your nose and sigh. And keep doing it. Remember just to inhale first and sigh completely. Release your body. Release any tension. Keep sighing. Keep inhaling and then sigh. Just let go. Let go the day, let go the week. Let go anything that you don't need anymore. Do not hold back and sigh with all the freedom. Keep sighing. Feel the emotion of the sigh. And feel how you inhale deep and big. And you're going to inhale one more time in 3, 2, 1. Inhale deep. Hold your breath just a sec. And you're going to do a final sigh in 3, 2, 1. Exhale and sigh completely. That's good. Remember, you still have the control of your breath. Feel the effects, the subtle effects of having deep inhalations with the sigh. And let your breathing return to a calm pace. And you can bring your hands to your abdomen just above your belly button and beneath your lower ribs, where the diaphragm is. And start breathing, focusing on the movement of your abdomen. So as you inhale, your abdomen goes up, and when you exhale, the abdomen goes down. Try just to move your abdomen, your diaphragm. So relax your shoulders, relax your face muscles, your jaw. And just focus on the movement of your abdomen. There is no rush. Feel the movement beneath, under your hands, like a tide that goes up and down together with your breath. Like this, you are sending relaxation signals to your body. You're activating your diaphragm to breathe properly. And like this, the diaphragm gives a tiny massage to the rest of your organs. Remember, if the mind wanders, just bring it back gently with your breathing. Your abdomen goes up and down. That's good. And notice how it feels to breathe, activating your diaphragm. Maybe it's the first time that you are doing it. Feel there is no rush. Focus on your breath. And now release your hands. And let that each inhalation start in your diaphragm and goes up naturally to your chest. Feel the way of your breathing going up, starting from your diaphragm. Because we are going to change a little bit the amount of air that we are going to breathe. Because once I tell you, you're going to inhale deep and big and exhale. It will be at your own pace, at your own rhythm, but allow that the inhalation starts in your abdomen and your diaphragm. And allow the air to go up naturally to your chest. Like this, you're going to connect with your breath, you're going to connect with your body, feeling the way through of the air, of the oxygen, of the energy that you are breathing. So first you're going to you're going to exhale in 3, 2, 1, exhale. And start deep, big inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, at your pace, almost without pause between inhalation and exhalation, like you are diving into your own breath. Feel the movement of your breathing, starting with your diaphragm. Big and deep. And slow. A little bit more. If you feel a little bit lightheaded, it's okay. Connect with your breathing. A couple more times. And one more time, very big and deep. Exhale. And go back little by little to a calmer pace, to a more natural breathing, and feel the effects within yourself, inside you, of the practice. Maybe you feel a little bit more expansions, more expansive in your mind, in your chest. Pay attention to how you feel. How it feels to breathe at this moment. Just observe. Use your diaphragm to breathe. And this is a good moment for you to set an intention for the practice, for your life. I'm just going to ask you a question and allow the answer to appear naturally. Don't force it. If nothing appears, it's fine too. What do you need to be a better human being? Allow the answer to show up naturally, don't force it. What do you need to be a better person? A better man, a better woman? That's good. Keep breathing in a slow pace. There is no rush. And now we are going to change the rhythm. We are going to activate our breath a little bit. This is the inner fire breath. You don't have to open your eyes, you just listen to my voice, to the instructions. In this technique, there is no pause between inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Everything is through the nose. And you can find your own rhythm. You can do it very fast, like me. You can do it a little bit more slow. Or very slow. But keep in mind that you're going to inhale bigger and deeper than you used to breathe. And remember, with no pause between inhalation and exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. You can play with the speed of your breathing. Find your own intensity. Find your own rhythm. We are going to do 3 rounds of this one, short rounds of 40 seconds around. So, first of all, you are going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale all the air. Inhale deep. And start with an exhalation. Find your own pace, find your own rhythm. You can accelerate and then slow down if you want, but keep the pace. Remember, no pause between inhalation and exhalation. Feel the cold air going inside your nostrils. And remember, you are starting your inner fire. Feel the heat inside of you. A little bit more, we are almost there. A little bit more. And you are going to inhale deep in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale very slow. And allow for your breath to cool down, for your mind to settle down. Be aware of the subtle effects of the practice within your body, within your mind. Settle down your breath. That's good. We are going to do a second round of this inner breath. With this breath, you are activating your systems. You are activating your respiratory system, your energy system, your nervous system. And first, you are going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Deep inhale. And start with an exhalation. Remember, you can speed up, you can slow down, but breathe bigger and deeper than you used to. You are activating yourself. You're moving every piece of your body. Feel the inner fire. Don't stop. A little bit more. We are almost there. That's good. Find your rhythm and your pace. And you're going to inhale very deep in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale very slow, very slow. And once again, allow your breath to settle down, your mind to settle down. You're still in control of your breathing. Remember, you are not breathing only air, oxygen. You are breathing energy in constant movement. You are breathing life itself. Feel it with each inhalation. That's good. And we are going to do a final round of this inner fire breathing. So you're going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Deep inhale. And start. Find your rhythm, find your pace, remember. But don't stop. No pause between in, out, in, out. Keep doing it. We are almost there. A little bit more. And you're going to inhale very deep in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. That's good. Feel the effects of the practice within your body, within your mind. And while your breath settles down, we are going to breathe in a coherent way. So we are going to do the opposite. We are going to inhale for 5 seconds and we are going to exhale for 5 seconds. So the breathing will be gentle, continuously, slow, always at my voice. So first you are going to exhale gently in 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And here we go. Inhale through your nose, slow for 5 seconds. Exhale very slow for 5 seconds too. Inhale. Find the rhythm. Exhale. Find the balance of this breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Focus on your breathing. Inhale. Feel the harmony and the balance. Exhale. Inhale. With this technique, you are balanced thoughts, emotions. Exhale in your body. Inhale. Exhale. Go back to your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Focus on your breath. No rush. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Focus. Exhale. There is no rush. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and go back to your own pace, still controlling your breathing. And without losing this state, if you want, you can lay down. And the next technique is a little bit more intense. You will be more active doing it. And first we're going to do some rounds of big and deep inhalation, something like this. You don't have to force it. It's like you are filling your lungs till the 80% through the nose. With this, we are activating our system. We are like shaking the things up a little bit. And after around 30 rounds, we are going to exhale and hold the breath for about 20 seconds. And then inhale again, hold and exhale. I will set the pace, but you can find your own intensity. And I ask you to break through the mental resistance that you may feel, because we don't used to breathe in this way. So it's a little bit effort to do it. So trust in your breathing, trust in your breath. If you feel a little bit lightheaded, it's completely normal, but you can always stop if you want. But I recommend you to go through it. And you can feel a little bit of tingling in your hands as well. At the end of 3 rounds, we are going to completely relax to balance the body again. Okay, so if you're laying down, it will be better. And here we go. First, as always, you are going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And here we go. In, out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In, out. In, out. Deep and big inhalations, and the exhalation, let it go. In, out. Like a wave, like goes up and down with every inhalation and exhalation. In, out. In, out. You have the pace already. Find your intensity. In, out, and break through the mental resistance. Trust in your breath. In, out. In, out. You are releasing toxins, thoughts, emotions that you don't need anymore. A little bit more. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. One more time. In, out, and hold your breath. Relax. Everything is fine. You don't have to do anything, not even breath. A little bit more, and you're going to inhale deep in 3, 2, 1. Inhale and hold your breath one more time. Feel the expansion in your chest. And you're going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax, because here we go one more time. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Inhale, exhale. Deep and big. Find your intensity, but feel the wave of your own breathing. Going up, going down. Feel your body. Feel your breath. In, out. Remember, if you feel a little bit lightheaded, it's okay. In, out. In, out. You are changing your mental state consciously. You're activating each cell of your body. In, out. A little bit more. In, out. In, out. In, out. We are almost there. Come on, you can do it. In, out. In, out. One more time. In, out, and hold your breath. Relax. Allow this sensation to expand. Everywhere to your body. Feel, relax. Everything is fine. And you're going to inhale in 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale. Hold it. Feel the expansion. And you're going to exhale in 3, 2, 1, exhale, relax, and here we go one last time. In, out, in, out. You can do it. In, out, in, out. Feel, connect. Deep and big. Feel your body. That's good. In, out, in, out. Feel, connect. We are almost there. You are releasing whatever you don't need anymore in your life. There are some emotions that want to go out. Release them. This is the moment. In, out, in, out. Inhale, exhale, feel your body. You're almost there. That's good. We are almost there. Feel it. Enjoy. In, out, in, out, in, out. Inhale, exhale, inhale. One last time. Inhale, exhale, and hold your breath. Hold and enjoy this sensation. Relax, everything is fine. And you are going to inhale deep in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold your breath. And you are going to exhale in 3, 2, 1. Exhale and relax. Relax. Allow your breath to settle down. Enjoy this full relaxation.
We'll now move on to our next speaker, who will guide us through a sound healing meditation on the project's outcomes. Hello, I'm Candice Pereira, working at the International Water Management Institute at its headquarters in Colombo, Sri Lanka, as an administrative officer in the Office of the Director General. I have the honor to introduce you to Rui Hinastroza, a Peruvian musician who fuses ancient and modern instruments for creating meditative music. Rui has been practicing Tibetan meditation since 2011 and won a Peace Revolution Fellowship, where he participated in a meditation retreat for artists in Thailand in 2015 and learned with Thai monks during a period of his life. He frequently participates in other meditation and silence retreats to feed his spirit and his music. For 7 years and today, Rui has dedicated himself to conducting and promoting sound circles in Lima and other cities around the world. The Circle Healing of Sounds is a journey of self-discovery where you are going to experience and access a deep meditative state and of connection with yourself.
put our back straight and to close our eyes gently. And we're going to take a deep breath through our nose. Exhale. We can breathe in again deeply and breathe out through our mouth and maybe do some sound with our air if we feel like. To let go. Great. So we will connect with our inner self, with our other senses. We're going to close these normal senses and allow to see inside and to make this gift for ourselves so we can have this moment of peace, inner peace. So we're going to let go all the things and thoughts of the routine, of the normal routine. So we can just let go of the past and the future. And little by little, we're going to focus on this moment, present, and we do this through our breath, which is happening in every moment. So put all your attention into your breathing, the air coming in through your nose. Feel the air in your lungs and then breathe out through our nose again. Let go this air naturally. And again, we're going to just observe this movement, this breathing. We will just observe every moment the air coming in and the air going out. And we're going to connect for a moment with the silence and with our breathing. Good. Now we're going to connect and to put our attention into our heart and connect with it. And we're going to feel our hearts opening so we can receive these sounds. We can feel and have different experience receiving with our heart. So once we are here with our hearts opened, we can connect with an intention. So this session, we can put all the energy into one direction and all these obstacles can be removed little by little with these sounds that are going to come in. But the intention is very important. So when we connect with this intention, we're going to keep it inside So it guides us to this thing, this we want to achieve, to attract, to get. So if we get distracted, we can go again and focus into this intention. So now you can lay down if you wish and put yourself comfortable and enjoy the sounds that are coming in and that will continue to guide us into this inner journey. Thanks.
Combien? Il y en a un. Il en reste combien? Donne-lui un. Donne-lui un. Elle a trois, comme ça, moi aussi, je prends d'abord. Si on veut.